You may have watched my video titled "Don't Register Your Beats with BMI or ASCAP." Likely you gained something from it. I got a lot of great feedback. Tens of thousands of people have watched it so far. But law of averages states that not all feedback is going to be positive. And there were a lot of people who were confused and many who were actually angry at that video and its content. Because the topic of the video, I think, is incredibly important. It literally deals with ownership, song equity, royalty generation, and intellectual property, which is the basis of the entire music business. To me, it's worth delving into further. That's what I want to do today. And let me also shout out Wave Gods for this amazing piece. So let's review the points I made in that video. I said very clearly, don't register beats you're selling to rappers with BMI, ASCAP, or any other PRO you may be affiliated with. I also said if you are publishing the beats as in on a streaming platform or on any other platform or venue that pays performance royalties, then you should register those beats. The example I gave was if you're releasing a lo-fi album or an instrumental album for general listening, not simply putting beats on Beatstars and YouTube. Why did I say that? Because one, PROs like ASCAP and BMI don't protect the copyrights to your beats, which a lot of people think they do. And two, they do not encode your beats and therefore do not and simply cannot track down people who use your beats. A lot of people think if you register a beat with BMI or ASCAP or any PRO, it's going to automatically detect when someone has used your beat. That's absolutely not what it does. What PROs do is ingest metadata and match it up with radio logs, cue sheets, and streaming platform data, and then they pay accordingly. The vast majority of beat makers put their beats on Beatstars and YouTube, not Spotify. And when a rapper or a singer buys a license to those beats and turns them into songs, that's when you register the song with all the necessary metadata. In other words, the title of the song, the name of the artist releasing the song, their label name, the length of the song, the IPI numbers of all the creators of the song, and their corresponding percentages of ownership of the song, etc. That's metadata. You never upload the song to a PRO, so how could the PRO detect your audio? That's just not what they do. That's what a content ID system does. That's what Beatstars Beat ID does. But that's an entirely different conversation. When you register a work with a PRO, that's how you collect performance royalties. Only very specific venues and platforms actually pay performance royalties. Now, the real problem here is that people are just confused in general about the music business. Reading a book like the very popular music business book by Donald Passman could clear a lot of this stuff up. Probably going on a Google rabbit hole about intellectual property in the music business could clarify a lot of this. Probably just reading a few articles on an actual PRO website, or even like Ari's Take or Beatstars Publishing or the Songtrust website's free publishing guide. All of that stuff could fix all of this misunderstanding. But I will also concede that the music business, the systems that govern the music business, specifically how people get paid, are meant to be confusing. I mean, the less you know about copyrights and royalty collection, the more money these corporate entities can hold on to. So for example, if you don't claim your performance royalties, which are the things that you get paid by registering songs that are published to your PRO, then the PRO will simply pay those unclaimed royalties to major artists who are affiliated with them. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. It sounds too terrible to be true, but it's true. It's called black box royalties. You can Google it and learn all about it. Another example is if you don't collect micro syncs from YouTube, YouTube and Content ID just keep the money for themselves. Or, as we saw in the case of Jose Tehran, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly or not, if you don't claim your YouTube microsync money, which involves claiming and asserting your equity as a songwriter in the underlying composition of a song that you've co-created, then a scammer can just come through, claim they actually own it because you're not making a claim to it, and steal it from you. Stupidity and ignorance are two different things. Right? Ignorance is natural. Everyone is ignorant. We're all ignorant. We can't possibly know or retain the vast knowledge that the universe contains. And we're always learning about our fields. I don't know everything about the music business by a long shot, and it's changing too. Stupidity, however, is when you're presented with clear and verifiable facts and you retreat back to a state of ignorance. Again, I made two very clear assertions in my last video. One, PROs do not offer copyright protection, and two, they do not automatically detect audio. In other words, they don't detect when and where your beats are being used so you can get paid every time someone uses your beats. There are people who don't want to believe me and who are cussing me out in the comments section and spreading misinformation to my viewers, because anyone can read these comments. And as we know, in the last video, I covered some videos created by other producers that had garnered hundreds of thousands of views, and therefore miseducated producers on what the music business actually involves. And so that's a problem. That's why I'm making this video, to add further clarity to a confusing situation, but also to address and hopefully dispel all the myths and outright lies that are being left as comments in my very own videos. So I'm gonna show you some proof. This is straight from the ASCAP website. Again, I don't write this stuff. I don't work for ASCAP. The way ASCAP handles your performances on AV streaming services is very similar to how it works on broadcast TV. We identify the music in program via cue sheets and match those cue sheets to performance data from the streaming services to determine your royalties. They are not tracking down audio the way a content ID system does. They are not tracking down audio, period. You don't even upload audio to a PRO when you register the song. I went through that in the last video. I'm not gonna do that again. If you want to leave a comment about how I'm full of shit and how PROs actually do track down audio and do automatically detect audio, that's absolutely your choice. Discussing the whole myth about PROs automatically detecting audio is one thing. The other incredibly popular myth / lie that was being disseminated in my comment section was the notion that PROs somehow offer copyright protect for your beats, and that's why you should register them. And I'm this evil, terrible person that works for the Illuminati elites that is telling you not to register your beats simply because I just want to see you lose out on money. Again, let's go straight to the source. ASCAP does not register music for the purpose of copyright protection. That is the responsibility of the writers and publishers of any given work. You can register your music for copyright protection through the Library of Congress, which can be reached at blah, 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 blah. I really don't understand what else needs to be said. When the PROs are telling you that they don't provide any sort of copyright protection, why am I getting comments like this? If a beat is registered, i.e. beat 909, which then becomes a song with different metadata, if copyright infringement occurs, you can use the registered beat as proof that this is bullshit. So if I register a beat, I'm just gonna show you why this is bullshit, and fuck whoever wrote this shit, I'm sick of this. If I make a beat titled Beat 909 2 years ago, and I register it as Beat 909, it's 3.5 minutes long, I register it to DJ Pain 1, and then Glorilla comes along, turns Beat 909 into a song called Little Dick Bum, a dedication to people who leave stupid comments on DJ Pain 1's YouTube channel. And she actually extends the beat to 4.5 minutes long, because of course there's the Cardi B feature. How the fuck is Beat 909 with an entirely different artist name, with no label associated with it, no audio associated with it, and an entirely different duration and every other difference conceivable in the metadata, gonna prove that I produced this Glorilla record? And I got a lot of comments like those. Here's a good one. I thought you were a smart dude, but obviously not. Obviously is, of course, misspelled. Producers can make a passive income from streams. Okay, why wait on a artist to hop on your beats to make some money? Weird. It's almost as though someone should create a channel that encourages producers to sell beats and make money and explain how to do that. Imagine collecting $100 monthly from just streams. I can't imagine that. That's amazing. Without no artist on your beats. Register your beats with BMI, ASCAP, and Sound Exchange. If an artist uses your beat without paying, his shit will be flagged and picked up by your PRO. I literally just proved to you that PROs don't do this. It is very important to register your beats. Don't listen to DJ Payne One Bro talking garbage. He must be getting paid to spill this garbage to his subscribers. I wish I was getting paid to read dumbass comments. I really feel like I am committing a public service by even acknowledging this level of stupidity. I should get a tax rebate. As a matter of fact, GoFundMe link in the description. We're going to lobby Congress to pass a bill so that people like me actually get some sort of tax break every year for responding to the inept. So rather than just be a dick, let's address some confusion and hopefully help some people. So here's a comment I received. Do I sign up to a DSP like Distrokid or TuneCore or a BeatStars first, then register to BMI or ASCAP? I'm going to beat you over the head with this chart over and over. If you don't understand what's happening in this chart, save it on your phone, print it out, carry a copy with you, hang it on your wall, print it out and stick it under your pillow. This chart explains everything about the fundamentals of the music business. There are two distinct copyrights. Again, the master recording, the actual recording, and the composition, the parts that make it a song, not the recorded parts, just the actual pieces of music, lyrics, notes, etc. What your DSP collects, so DSP like TuneCore or Distrokid collects royalties on the master side. A stream generates royalties on both sides, both copyrights. So if you create a beat and you haven't sold the rights to anybody, you own both. So if you put a beat on Spotify, then you're collecting 100% of all applicable streaming royalties, at least in theory. And your recording royalties get paid out by the distributor. So yes, you should sign up to a distributor, but your distributor is not paying your performance royalties. These come from PROs, as you can see right there in the chart, a PRO. That's who pays out on the writer's side, that's who pays out on the publisher's side. So yes, you also want to be signed up with a PRO. So sign up to Distrokid or whatever distributor you want to use and sign up for a PRO, because if you only sign up for one, you're only collecting one royalty stream. If you sign up for both, you're now collecting two royalty streams. Here's a good one, because I did get this comment a lot from angry people. This guy isn't angry, he's just confused. Okay, I just signed up for ASCAP. Y'all basically saying it isn't worth it. I absolutely did not say that. Let's be clear. So is there any other plan B way of getting all my royalties? I've heard of Distrokid. So this is more confusion between what a distributor does and what a performance rights organization does. Performing rights organizations collect performance royalties, i.e. radio, some portion of streaming, TV, ads, live performances, whereas recording royalties are what are collected by the distributors. Now, the distributor portion, the master portion, is the biggest payout on the streaming side. I guess the problem is a lot of people, when they talk about streaming royalties, they speak as though there's one unified streaming royalty. A streaming royalty doesn't exist. A streaming royalty is just a collection of many royalties, depending on the streaming platform, depending on the type of stream, whether it's interactive or non-interactive. There are a lot of factors that determine what streaming royalties you're making, but they include digital performance royalties collected by Sound Exchange. They include recording royalties collected by your distributor. They include performance royalties. They include mechanical royalties. So you have to know how to collect all of those, and they're all collected by different agencies. That's the frustrating thing. They create these systems so that they're confusing, and most of us, especially those of us who are unsigned and unaffiliated with labels, are just left in the dust half the time. Another comment, I use Distrokid. I use Distrokid too, but again, Distrokid is not a replacement for a PRO. Distrokid does not collect performance royalties. Here's another one. So does Songtrust cover your performance and mechanical royalties, or just mechanical? So Songtrust is a publishing admin, and if you have a publishing admin deal, they will collect every royalty theoretically under the composition umbrella. They will not touch this, but they will collect all of these, which includes mechanical royalties. So all you have to do, again, this is why this chart is so amazing. Shout out to Beatstars Publishing for putting this chart out. It explains everything that's unique to the music business. This is the stuff that's unique to the music business because only recorded music has 2 distinct copyrights with all of these different royalty streams that are collected by different agencies. I personally do use Songtrust. It makes my life easier because it's collecting on my performance royalties, it's collecting my mechanical royalties, and it's collecting on neighboring rights, which come from PROs from different countries that an American PRO simply might not have any sort of connection to. All right, hopefully that clarifies some things. Again, I'm not saying don't register music with the PRO. I'm saying if your beats are not being played just as beats, as you created them, not under anyone else's name, not as a song, not as an instrumental version of a song that another artist has recorded. If your beats, as they are under your name, are not being distributed and performed and streamed, then there's absolutely no point in spending hours and hours and days even registering the hundreds, if not thousands of beats that you're just throwing on Beatstars and YouTube hoping to sell or license to rappers. Wait until the song is done and then register that song. That's how you get paid your performance royalties. If it's not generating performance royalties, what's the point in registering them? I'm just trying to save you time. Again, verify what I'm saying if you're skeptical. I don't think there's anything wrong with skepticism, but don't be so skeptical that you only believe someone who's saying something that contradicts what someone else is saying simply because they're saying something different. That's not intelligent or strategic skepticism. Go to a source. Go straight to the PROs if you have a question about how PROs work. Go straight to the Library of Congress if you have a question about how copyright works. Go straight to a publisher if you're confused about how microsyncs work. You know, get your information from authoritative sources. Link to that chart below. Print that chart out. I'm serious. Tattoo it on your wrist, the small version, and carry a magnifying glass with you all around. That is your guide to the music business. That will save you. Serious. Save yourselves. Peace.